One of my most memorable wins. This car in whatever year it was, 2000, we won the 24-hour in our class. And it was an old car that I didn't think would run 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And it ran and ran and ran. It was meant to be, after many years of trying to win that thing, for us to win it that weekend.
So how did that feel, winning?
Well, it was fine.
It was fine? That's it?
I mean, I've been doing this 50 years, so it's hard to enthuse me.
Man, well, I'm heavily impressed. That's excellent.
So these are all cars over the years that I've raced or owned or built or both. That's a big win at Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen, I've heard about that. Absolutely.
One below it, Sebring.
Sebring, that's in Florida?
Yeah, that's a Ferrari, but it broke. Say I'll drive anything that I don't have to pedal or push.
Anything that you don't have to pedal or push.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I ain't selling it, about selling the whole car. So what do you want for it? $500. So I went down and took the engine out and left the car there. It had a 494. It's a big car. I mean, that's Brabham in it back there on the wall. It's only 2 times over. Anyway, it disappeared. Got I'm 73. Probably 2 or 3 years later. We were in Super. Good for you guys.
It should look familiar.
This is engine parts that failed. This is a gear that failed at Daytona.
Oh, no way.
I've got a speedometer in there somewhere. It came from Hallman Moody. It's 300-mile-an-hour speedometer. Nobody's ever seen another one or where it came from. These are all stock cars that I've had and or still have over the years bought, and I've tried to find the model when I...
Oh, okay. So you are affiliated with them in real life, and then this is...
Yeah, copies.
That's amazing.
Alan Kowicki car I destroyed up at Charlotte last August. The worst destruction I've ever done, not to
man.
Scratch. I told you about that.
Oh, it's so neat.
Yeah. This is the crank out of the Bug-Eye Sprite Daytona runoffs. First turn, first lap, blew up. This was laying up in the fender weight. Yeah, it's like that. Pull the rods into. All the bearings were good, but their cranks were 2 races and you might as well throw them away. They only had 3 main bearings.
This is some artwork. Very neat.
Yeah, and I've got one back in the back here like I just made for my wife.
You made it? What in the world?
Well, I didn't make the parts.
I couldn't help but notice walking in the cars, especially this bad boy.
This engine, which was built for NASCAR.
Oh
and
yeah.
they outlawed it before it ever got used. It's called a camera.
Oh no.
It's a 427 single overhead cam.
Wow.
And it's totally out of proportion for this car. So I bought it just to get the engine, because I've got another collection of engines back here.
Okay.
I was going to change it, but I had another one of these, and I sold it, so this one's still together.
Okay.
And it's not very streetable, but
It's eye candy.
They have Cars and Coffee this weekend, so I'm going to drive it to Cars and
Yeah.
Coffee.
Heck yeah. Watkins Glen. Do you have a favorite track?
I like them all.
What a table. That is so cool.
This was the pit sign for mine.
Yeah, right.
Years ago.
The mine or Daytona?
Daytona. Yeah, before anybody was really ritzy like they are now.
Yeah.
That's the new Goodyear radio that came out back in the day. Goodyear says, "Finger, you can't hurt this tire. We got something you can't mess up." So I'm at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Was on the pole for the race. Won the race. Came in and the Goodyear guy said, "Good news and bad news. You won, set track record, but don't look at the right rear tire."
Yeah.
This car is the one I'm running in vintage now. It's an Andy Petrie car that's really a nice car. A friend of mine bought it at auction, and then I bought it from him. I've run it about 4 or 5 years now. Probably won 50% of the time. That was pretty.
I'll get both of them then. Oh man. This is cool.
Just to have something to put this fuel injection on.
Really? See, I was wondering about all this.
And the fuel injection is similar to what they ran in the looks of the Can-Am cars back in the 70s with the stagger. Wankel engine that Ford built that they won't admit exists.
Why is that?
It has some Mazda parts, but then the center part is something they were trying to develop, and then they canned it back in the 60s. You know, helped with the problem Mazda had. That one there is particularly interesting. It's built from what they call the server car that Harley built for the police to use, and meter maids to use. It had a big trunk on the back.
Oh yeah.
Some guy made a hot rod out of it. Ended up with it. Most of this stuff has come from trading. That bike I traded a hill climb car for back in the 90s. Yeah, I don't know. Call somebody and somebody traded a guy NASCAR running gear for a real nice Chevrolet pickup truck, and this was the engine in it.
Wow.
So I wanted they call it a blower motor, and I sold the truck, put another engine in, and kept that.
You like the engines, huh?
Yeah. Well, I don't have room for cars anymore, so I started.
Yeah. Oh man, you just finished this, huh?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
I couldn't figure out how to get the wire up there, so I put air quick fuel line.
Oh, that's so cool. You're very creative.
You know what a rat rod is? Have you ever heard that term?
What is a rat rod?
It's an old rusty car that people build up, and it looks like the end of the world. They'll put a big motor in it. So I'm building what I call a NAS rod.
A NAS rod.
I've got a NASCAR chassis over there. It's a brand new Penske chassis that's set out in the rain for 5 years.
Oh man, yeah.
Step over here and you can see it. As long as you're on that story.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, I sandblasted it and lightly painted it, and I'm putting it together now with nicer parts, and that engine's going. It's like 900 horsepower.
900 horsepower, yeah.
When I was a World sports car I had, I sold the car and kept the spare engine. It's fuel injected, and I built this stand so I can crank it up and run it and let people listen to it. Ford engine. This is out of a midget racer that I raced in the 60s.
In the 60s?
This isn't the actual engine, but I have the car, and we're going to restore it. And it had a Triumph motorcycle motor in the back, and most of the cars that era were still front engine cars. This is, quote, one of the first rear engine cars.
Yeah.
And if it didn't shake apart in the race, it would win. But it shook so violently, I finished the race and couldn't take my hands off
Yeah.
the steering wheel. And then this is the hill climb car that I still have, that I didn't build or design, but it's got quite a bit of aeronautical engineering to it. The wing is especially different. It looks like a World Outlaw, but it's got
Yeah.
3 different tiers. And I guess it's required. It's like riding a motorcycle. I don't want to do all that stuff on a motorcycle. Not the same sensation that blew up on me down at Atlanta. And it's an oil pan problem. There's a road course oil pan and an oval track. And unbeknownst to me, it had the oval track pan and destroyed that engine. This is a Dodge race truck that's brand new,
Yeah.
never raced, built just for the wind tunnel.
Oh, really?
And it was sitting there in his way, so now I have it down here in my way. And they have you can call it a Bible or a book that tells where the engine ran, what parts were replaced, how long they've run, so you know exactly
Yeah.
what they are. Then I got some old school stuff. That's like a 55 Chevrolet old school engine. I saw one of these on the pickers one time. It's got an electric motor, and you think you're riding a wild horse. Then there's more Abraham engines over there. This car was designed by Bob Riley,
Okay, yeah.
who's still up in Mooresville, he and his son,
Yep, Bill.
building cars. Nice road race car.
The pit car.
It's knocked the front snail around.
Wow.
Oh man, that's really crooked.
It's a big deer.